Kindness, empathy, and compassion. One way to look at kindness is it's the overflow of somebody who's already got everything they need. So kindness is when we give to others because we've already filled up our cup. It's not the same as people pleasing. People pleasing is self-sacrifice, is when you're not doing well and you still try to help others to make them like you. It's actually very little to do with kindness. It's more of a manipulation. True kindness is giving because you don't need anything more for yourself. It's also the value of treating others the way you think people should be treated, including yourself. It's about being the person you think everybody would need to be to make the world a good place to live. I don't mean forcing your moral code down everyone's throats, but being the example of the kind of person that if everyone acted like this, the world would flourish. This leads to both internal and external rewards. When you give, you remove your own neediness. You have a sense of having purpose and value in the world. And of course, you will develop a reputation and connections with people where they see you as a giving, generous person. Again, this is not people pleasing. People pleasing attracts abusive, user type people. So if those are the kind of people you're ending up with, then you're not really giving, you're probably people pleasing and self-sacrificing. Giving also comes with assertiveness. If somebody doesn't reciprocate or somebody abuses the gifts, you move on, you cut them out. Right? Giving is not completely indiscriminate. You choose the people who deserve it. Selfish people, on the other hand, will crush you or harm you to get what they want. They're focused on instant gratification, which not only is amoral, but also inefficient. Even if you gain short-term outcomes, you're reinforcing the scarcity programming in your brain, those neural pathways that think that you've got to get things because you're lacking in some way or there's not enough for you. It's only going to feed that system. You only become more needy and neurotic the more you try to take. Not to mention you eventually create a reputation as being a bad person. So when interacting with other people, kindness is about imagining what it's like to be them interacting with you and what you in their position would like you to be. Be the person you would like to interact with. Be the person that you would feel is giving and kind if you were interacting with them. As Gandhi says, be the change you want to see. Respect. Live and let live is the motto of respect. This means that you allow others to live their lives and you won't interfere unless the way they do so interferes with yours. Okay? Similar to assertiveness, you're going to let people outside of your fortress do whatever it is they need to do to enjoy their life until what they're doing comes over the wall and hurts what's happening inside your life. Maybe it hurts you personally or hurts your loved ones, or you see it doing damage objectively into the world. And that's the only time that you're going to actually extend yourself to try and prevent the way other people are living. But if something does not measurably harm you or your goals or your loved ones, then leave it alone. Allow other people to figure out their own way of living. There are a lot of right ways to live. Let people figure out their own version. They don't have to do it your way, but neither do you have to do it theirs. And if somebody else tries to impose their way on you, you push back to respect yourself. When you allow other people to make their own choices, they become stronger. They become better at problem solving. They develop their own moral code and their own confidence. They don't benefit from you forcing your way down their throat. And of course, vice versa. However, you cannot tolerate disrespect because that interferes with your life and will make you see yourself as a lesser person. Disrespectful people generally try to control others. They cross boundaries and harm people, often with good intentions, because they're more interested in dominating through power than they are in being respectful. Making people fear you is not respect. You know it's respect when they'll do it even if you're weak. If they do it only because you're strong, that's fear. Disrespect stems from neediness, greed, and an insecure urge to control outcomes. None of these things are confident. So when choosing what to do, look for the least harmful way to move forward, but always move forward. When you're witnessing others living their lives, leave them to it unless they're directly harming you in some way. You might not like it, you might have a different opinion, you might be disgusted by what they're doing even. But if you can't say, look at the measurable harm it's doing to me and my loved ones, then you've really got no right to interfere. Remember, being offended, disappointed, or frustrated with someone is not the same as being harmed by them, right? So leave them alone even if you feel this way. And of course, if they feel this way about you, that's their problem, not yours. Humor isn't so much about being funny or comedic, but about seeing the absurdity of life and not taking it too seriously. Generally, confident people do not get too worked up about the unfairness of life and about the insanity and the chaos that is part of living. Life is unfair, it's unjust. Sometimes it's outright fucking crazy. And if you can't smile at that and just work with it, and if you're always serious and stressed and battling against it, well, then you're not going to be confident. Insecure people look for the negative. They're skewed towards risk. They take everything too seriously. They make a big deal and a big drama about things that a year from now they won't even remember. And they generally get all worked up about stuff that is just life. When you get all stressed out and try to control things that you can't control and try to stop life from being as unfair as it is, all you end up with is more suffering than necessary. There's no benefit in doing this. Once heard a story about a girl walking through a crowded shopping mall. She had a big iced coffee and she dropped it and it just went fucking everywhere in front of everyone. And she just looked at it and just went, fuck, I'm so sick of being alive. Now that's a sense of humor, all right? You just got to have a bit of a laugh and a smile about the shitty things that happen to you, because guess what? They're always going to happen. Are you a nice guy or people pleaser who wishes they were more assertive, more honest, and better respected by others? Since 2013, I've been helping people just like you discover their integrity and apply it courageously to build deep and meaningful connections, get respected by others, and become the confident person you've always wanted to be. Imagine being able to speak your mind without worrying what other people will think or worrying that it's the right thing to say, and being able to assertively stand up for yourself and your loved ones. Imagine never feeling the need to apologize for who you are or what you want, and being able to live carefree without shame or the I'm not good enough story in your head. Imagine going to bed knowing that you courageously took every opportunity available to you and you've got no regrets because you always know what you should be doing in every situation. I'm so confident in my ability to help people like you unleash your highest level of self-worth that I give people a free coaching session to test what I'm doing. In this 1 hour session, we will uncover the biggest barrier to your confidence, whether it's an awareness problem, you don't know what you should be doing differently, or it's a courage problem, you know what you should be doing, but you find it too intimidating. I will guide you to make a breakthrough with your behavior to get through that barrier in a powerful way without feeling terrified and without destroying everything you love. I've had some people find this first session so powerful that I never hear from them again simply because they didn't need anything more after that. It launched them into the highest level of confidence that they've ever experienced. And if that's the result you get, I'm good with that. As one client put it, this session was more valuable to me than 3 years of therapy combined. So if you're tired of trying to keep everybody happy, and you're sick of worrying what other people think of you, and you're concerned that your people pleasing and conflict avoidance is going to damage your relationships, then come and have a talk with me. Worst case scenario, you get to experience what it's like to talk with someone who actually understands what it's like to be you. I've lived the nice guy experience for decades. I know it inside and out. I know that pain. Case scenario, and very likely, you will have such a powerful insight into a behavioral change that you can make in the next 24 hours to significantly improve your confidence, relationships, and career. All I ask is that you be honest, open to change, and willing to try something new. Why wait another 10 years to discover confidence when you can do it today? Fill out the brief form below to apply for a trial coaching session. Do this quickly because there are limited spots each month, and then I'll get back to you to book in a time to talk.